All right, we've got video, audio. Now I need to plug in my actual feed here. Oh man, it's so hot and I'm so ready for the weekend, but feeling good today. I'm not sure how hard I want to work today, to be 100% honest. I think, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I think, let's go here, just check that. Yep, okay, we're good. All right, so what I'm thinking of doing, before I do anything really important, I'm gonna check what this looks like on my own. Da, 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 da. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, I'm just playing with this site on my iPad, just checking that it looks okay, and it does. I realize there's one thing I made a mistake on. Let's see here. I have to learn how to do better. I don't want my site CSS to be like ridiculous or anything, but I want it. It doesn't look quite smooth enough on my iPhone, so I gotta figure out, or like it zoomed out a little too much on the iPhone. I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I do wonder if there's like a media detect mobile or something like that. Let's see. There's one thing I have to do for a second, and that is go here, and I have to change this here to be called Radish logo, like this. And then I'm going to just push that change. Yeah. Git commit fixed link title for Radish logo link text. That should be fine. All right. Now what? I just want it to be the weekend, and it's close, very close. But things are going well, and the weekend is not far away, so happy with that. I am quite pleased with how this is going. Now, so this looks kind of ugly, but that is unrelated to anything with the code itself. It's just related to how SVG fill works, and maybe there's a way to make it look better, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. I do also wonder if this max width isn't that great for the sites, but I'm kind of not going to worry about that for the time being anyway. Fill none. If I change this to stroke green, that looks a little better. That looks weird. Let's make this 5, 7. It's pretty cool. Stroke line cap rounded. Round. Yeah. See, so this is how, this is a kind of a fun way to work, I think. You get to see the results of what you're typing right away. It's sort of like if you had OpenSCAD, where you type code and it reevaluates and you see the 3D model and you can interact with it. There's no direct interactivity with this yet, but those are things that I'm thinking a lot about and trying to come up with strategies to get good utility on those things. What I think I might want to do is incorporate, oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to think too hard today. What would be kind of a fun thing to do? That's the question I have for myself. I wonder if I were to... Okay, yeah, that is... So you do have to... So that's still a problem. Maybe I should put a little set of... Whoops. Notes here. Oh, that's one thing I haven't tried yet. Let's do BB tasks. I'm in the wrong. BB tasks. Okay, let's do BB uberjar. This is one thing I haven't tried yet. I don't know how it's gonna work. How's everyone doing today? I hope things are well. Not too hot for you, or if it's too hot that you're able to take care of yourself appropriately. It's pretty toasty over here. Doing the best I can. I also am wondering, I'm just trying to think, so while this is going, I'm trying to think of a cool blog post type thing to make. Okay, so I've got the jar file. Now I'd like to clear out some of this stuff. So this radish.jar, I want to try run that. And I want to do that by creating, if I do java jar radish.jar I radish logo.org, I want to see if this succeeds. It might not. We'll have to see. If it succeeds, then I'm stepping in the right direction. And I won't worry too much about the native image compilation until such time as I figure out how to more programmatic, like how to incorporate shadow-cljs compilation better, because that's the part of this whole project that I'm not too keen on how I've solved that at the moment. It works, but it shells out to another process. So even if you've got your native image, you'll still need Clojure running, and you'll still end up using the JVM, so it's kind of pointless to do it that way. So I want to... That'll have to be fixed at some point, I think, anyway. But see, the thing is, I'm not an expert on compilers at all, nor am I an expert on Clojure script. I just figured out by looking at other projects exactly how to do just the very basic compilation that I'm trying to do. But anyway, let's see if this looks correct. That's the... Okay, this is the local. It looks right to me. Yep. Okay, so the uberjar works, which is good. I'm happy with that. clj-m test. I wonder if these tests will fail. I haven't exactly run them in a bit. Might have changed some names. I'm not sure. Oop. One error, no failures. Okay, but the error is what? Error in getDeps test. Okay. Wait a second. Is it actually trying to compile something here? What did I miss? I think I just scrolled up too far. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's figure out this error because that's not great. Actual end of file. So, oh yeah, right. So I ended up changing. Let me see what happens here. If I do get deps from radish.org. Huh. Something's gone wrong there. Well, that's actually a good. Let's fix that then. That's a good thing to fix, right? Excuse me. Let me just check here. Okay, so it fails if it doesn't detect them. I think because it's trying to read string of a nil or something like that. So that's actually good that I checked that. Let's go to getDeps and have a look then. Let's just run things like this. Let's do, come on. getDeps star for testing, for manual figuring out, I guess is the right way to say it. Oh, I think getDeps matches a different structure now than it used to. So I think I've made a bit of an error. Right, so we've got deps from the radish logo, but let's do it like this. So clearly there's something else going on here. If I do this, if I do count the last entry there's 5 deps entries, which is clearly wrong. I only need 1. So my match deps function matches more than what I need it to. And it makes sense actually because my match deps function is pretty naive. It's just looking for basically this string inside inside the block, which is just clearly no good at all. So I have to fix that. Node matchers then. Right, so yeah, so a much better approach will be something that actually does a read string on the map. Okay, so this is how should I do this? First of all, I can change how this matches a little bit. Let's do key block. I only need the block key from the node, and so block has to equal source. And from this point on, so this has to be true, and then I need to come up with something a little more clever for reading the content. So what I'd like to do here is probably something like this. When block is source. Oh wait, let me keep this here for now, and we'll fix up. We'll make a better one here. So I've got the original just in case. Right. With this now, basically what I want to do is actually read the content into proper closure forms, then just extract the thing that's a map, and then check if that map has a depth key. And that should be a better, And then what I'm going to do is just make a decision that if there happen to be multiple nodes that match those criteria, I'll take the first. So the depths have to be declared near the top of the file. I think that is a fair assumption to make. That's where I'll go anyway. That's how I think that's a fair way to handle it. So I'll do that. Right, so here, when, there we go, nope, there we go. Right, so when the block is source, the next thing you have to do is let source be string this apply string to content of the node, and then wait a second, I could be a little more clever than that. Oh no, it's fine, that's good enough. Right, so the source is that, and actually I'm just going to do read string right away. Is that safe to do? I think that should be fine. Let's not be too clever today. Let's just get it working. Right, so read string all of that, and then the maybe depths is filter map source. Then what's the contains? Right, so if this map, oops, A1, B2 contains C false, contains B true, yeah, that's what I need. So then all I need is so there could be potentially a few maps. Oh, how do I want to handle that? Well, maybe I could just do this. Filter and map contains the key is depths. And then all I need is not empty. I feel like this is not the smoothest approach, but it's the one that's in my brain, so I'm gonna stick with it for now. So let me do get depths star. Bummer. Getting close. End of file. Still running into issues. All right, I might have jumped the gun a little bit here. So let's do that. Match. Oh, sorry, let me just do it like this. Wait a sec. When true. Temporarily, let's leave that there. So that should match things successfully. Okay, so that is just matching all the source blocks. So I happen to know the source blocks here should be 10 or 11. So let me count the last. Yeah, so there's 11. Okay, so oops. So that part's working okay. Right. Next thing to do, when it's a source block, the source is going to be, if I pull the content from the node and apply string to that, it turns it all into a string. And then I can wrap that whole thing in a vector and then read that string, and it should have a list of forms. That list of forms should be well, actually, let me do something like this. Filter map. Let's see if this returns anything useful. Get depths. Okay, so that successfully did return any that returned the source blocks that have maps inside them, which is what I was hoping for. Let's run it on this radish.org. Okay, so there's still errors happening. What might be the cause of that? I'm not certain. I wonder if the depths here are actually invalid. There's depths there. That should, why would it be end of file, I wonder? All right. I am deeply confusion at the moment. Okay, so we're only failing on the radish.org thing. So that feels like a step in the right direction. It's not a perfect thing, but I'll get to that other stuff in a bit. I wonder if I could do something like this. Test.org file. I'm gonna get rid of the tangle calls here. That shouldn't affect anything technically. Excuse me. See, those seem valid. Gen reflect. Let's get rid of that too. This, I'm just making a dumb copy of things. Oh, I wonder if it's failing because of the JSON? I doubt that, but let me see what happens if I do read string of this string. I wonder if that might be it. Ugh, what a pain. Okay. I think, oh, and it makes sense, even if that's not it, I think I should, let's get rid of any tangles for a second. I should put in a little guard so that the closure read string is only ever trying to read valid closure or potentially valid closure, not something that isn't closure, right? But let me run this now on test.org. Yeah, so let me run a quick proof of concept here. So that's not it. If I were to get rid of this, that's still not it. Okay, there's literally nothing except the... Okay, so something's going wrong here. Let me do this as well. Just get it down to a thing that's presumably gonna work. Really? My goodness. Oh, okay. I think I know what it is. I think it's... I think that might be the only issue. Let's try this. The JSON thing's probably not great either. Okay. Test.org, end of file. Okay. Take the comment out. Oh, gotta save it. End of. Let's see. Closure read string fails with comments. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. Let me get rid of all the things I know that are comments for sure. Just to prove this to myself. Okay. Well, let's fix now at least. Let's fix well, first of all, okay, so this, if I do read string, I get the first thing. Now, if I do read string, if I do the cheese method here, where I wrap this in a vector to evaluate every form, it fails. Okay. If I do read string of comment directly, it's like there's nothing there at all. But if I do this, we're good. if I do this, is that okay? So if I do this, comment, new line, that's fine. Wonder what the valid options are here. Let's see. Don't use it to read from untrusted sources, of course. Oh, is load string what I'm actually looking for here? Did I forget how to do things? That might just solve the problem. Loud string, that's not right. Let's do this. Interesting. Okay. Let's just load string. No, that's not it. So read string is what I need. Oh, right. Read and eval. Yeah, that's not what I need. Reads the object. No. Read string is closer. I don't know what to do with that. Before I get there, though, let me do node matchers. Let's match depths. Here, block attributes when, and now I need an and. So when block is source and let me just check that that'll make sense. Closure, I need the attributes vector to contain how does this work again? Happy Friday. Yeah. How's it going, Mike? I am sitting here toasting and just casually working, but I'm having a good day. I hope you're doing well. Going well. Got some work for next week coming up, but today was a ship it day. Just ship it in a day of just unblocking some folks. Nice. Sounds good. Sounds like a nice way to end the week. Ship it, unblock. That's a nice way to get things going. A little tired. Sorry about that. So, Mike, I want to show you a bit of progress here. I have advanced build now for this tool. So this is up on my GitHub site. So I actually was able to compile this project with the external dependencies, so everything works. It even has some handy automatic checks for you. So for example, the dependencies thing, it doesn't try to eval the dependencies map. It's just there for reference. Internally, if I open up the source of that page here, this is the original org file. I'm going to compare the namespace for a minute to show something here. So this namespace has Hiccup core and Java shell, but the output for it automatically pulls those out of the requirements list here. It does that on my behalf. They're blacklisted because they don't make sense to use those inside a ClojureScript browser context. Like if I tried to do, if I tried to include hiccup.core, you'd get this error, couldn't find it. So my tool preemptively pulls out those things that you can't use anyway. So that's pretty cool. And you can configure at the top of the file, or technically anywhere in the file, but the top makes sense, a Radish configuration map. And you can set vars that are commented out. And the reason you want to comment out something, for example, this here, it's valid, like it could be useful for reference, but it's not useful in the context of the browser. For example, could not resolve symbol spit because there's no such, in ClojureScript, there's no file system by default to work with. So it leaves it there, it comments it out as a reference. And if you had a piece of code later on that used that function, it comments it out for you there as well. So point is, this advanced build does a few pretty neat things. It changes your namespaces a little bit. It tries to guard you from error functions. It leaves things that are useful as reference information, and it compiles everything so that you can actually use the namespace dependencies. Like it actually looks through the dependencies here, ignoring ones that don't make sense or aren't needed. Anyway, long story short, I'm pretty happy with that. So I pushed that change, and there's still things wrong with it, but it's pretty neat. And by things wrong with it, some of the solutions I have for matching different nodes are a little naive, but pretty happy with that. Some good progress on that page. Yeah, I'd say. So it's two different pages. Like this project is supposed to be like little blog posts, right? So this example post is a one-page example, very simple, just meant to show that you can build a post. There's no external dependencies. It's just the Clojure core library, which could be super useful on its own. And then the advanced one uses, for example, my SVG right in there. So it's a different build process, but ends up basically looking the same from the user's perspective, which I'd say is pretty neat. So you can see it actually does change. That's actually kind of a nice color. I like that. There you go. Does it automatically pull the latest version of your library? So the idea is not necessarily. It pulls whatever dependencies the user has specified in their org file. So for example, here, this is the dependencies. These are the dependencies needed to run this org file as its own project, right? it's not exclusive, or it's theoretically not exclusive to my SVG library. You could potentially use any other library that can compile to ClojureScript should be able to work. Now, there's probably cases where that won't be true. This isn't meant to be like the most robust tool in the world. It's meant to be something that I'm going to use to make more blog posts and videos. So it's definitely not going to be perfect. But if I instead, so right now I have O3 snapshot. If I popped this to 0.2, for example, there's no, you won't detect any difference, but it will compile with the 0.02 version instead. So it respects the version that the user has specified inside the org file, which I think is better. It doesn't trick the user, I guess. And by the way, if I were to remove this dependency and try to build it, so if I comment that out, it's not a dependency in there anymore. It'll successfully build the page, but it will not incorporate that dependency into the JS. And so the actual page won't have access to those vars. So it won't work. I mean, the compilation will work, but your output won't have all of the stuff it needs. So it looks at the dependencies and changes the compilation accordingly. Might make sense to have it pull the latest. Yeah, so it's not... I'm trying to make it more of a build tool, not a require, like, I'm not sure what I'm saying. It's not supposed to need my library specifically. It's only supposed to need the user to understand that whatever libraries they're using have to be compilable to ClojureScript, right? That's the whole idea. They don't need my SVG stuff at all. They could use whatever they want. That's the idea. If I never quite get there, we'll have to see. But it's a small little fun project. It's going to be useful for me, at least. I think if I'm careful enough and pay attention, it could be quite useful for a few other people. But it's not necessarily meant to be this huge, robust tool. But anyway. So where was I? What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Makes sense? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a fair way to work on stuff. And I insist on having the basic build as well that does no dependency checking at all, because I do think there can be a lot of really useful posts that I have in mind to write, like almost as notes for myself, that only really need the core library anyway, and that keeps things way faster, way simpler, and I like that. So it has this advanced build for when you want a few dependencies in there, but it doesn't necessarily require it. I also am going to add a feature in there, because what it does is actually it builds an entire shadow-cljs project from your org file, and then it compiles it and puts it into a directory that you can just upload to your page, and then it deletes the shadow-cljs project. So it just compiles once, deletes, pulls the JS, and you're good to go. I want to add a feature where it doesn't actually run Shadow. It just only builds the project from your org file, so that the user can write their org file, build the project, and then do whatever they want at that point. So they could tweak it completely to what they want. Meant to be more like Maven, where you specify some dependencies, it'll package it up nice and clean for you. Kind of. I'm sort of treating it as like a pre-process build helper, if that makes sense. So here, let me show you so this advanced build, right? It basically, let's get to the simple thing here. This function here, prepare radish project, it takes a few of the files that never change. So there's some CLJS treated as a resource, not as code to run in the context of this project. It creates a new directory with the project name based on the title of the org file. It generates its own config map file. It generates its own deps.eden, all of which are dynamic, like they're, the org file is searched for all of that data. It makes those files in a new directory, copies the static stuff in there as well, runs the compilation, and then all you need is, then at that point you're exactly right. It just is nicely kind of picking and placing the files. And then at the output, if the user's waited patiently, they haven't specified wanting to keep the build or anything like that, just have one directory with all the files they need. Put that on their website. Boom, you're good to go. Of course, you want to visually test it and stuff like that, but that's the whole thing. Yeah, I hope that makes some sense. I have ideas that are not related to this exact workflow, but related to what I think would be a really cool way to do REPL development with regular Clojure projects, but that's going to be a tangent, and I'm not going to go there today. Followed what you were getting after? Okay, good. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little repetitive, so sorry if you understood a while ago. The truth is I'm quite happy with how this works, and I'm excited to make a bit of content using this tool to prove out, the different use cases that you could come up with. And as I build up a little bit of post history with this tool, one, I'll learn, I'll document it a little better. Two, I'll learn the things that are just plain wrong and I can fix. Three, I'll learn if other people are interested in producing that kind of content as well, and kind of just go from there. But it's just another tool in the toolbox, A lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Okay, I was actually doing something. What was it? It was related to filtering, not sources, node matcher. It was a node matcher thing. So I want to redo this match depths thing to properly handle Right, so here, this is what I'm trying to remember how to do. I just need to check that the attributes vector has the word Clojure in it, which there's a smarter way to do this, right? Why do I never remember how to do things? Oy. Can I do, if I do this? That's what I'll do. That's easier. Contains. So if I just coerce attributes into a yeah. And so if I do set attributes and I just do contains this. So if the set of attributes contains the string Clojure, then you're guaranteed to be you're at least trying to eval something that's a proper Clojure source file, not like some weird JSON or something like that. So let me do get deps. That's gonna fail. Let's do, that one has no deps, so it's an empty vector. This one has one depth. Okay, so we're getting close to what we need here. Oh, what did I do now? Hey? Content unresolved. There we go. So if I do match depths old, oh, that's, well, never mind. I'm being lazy. Let's leave it in there for now, because I might have broken things, but well, we could sort it out. Right. The thing that I don't know how I'm going to handle yet, but I'm not going to worry about today, is the read string working on comments. It doesn't, but I digest. I'll figure that one out later. Right, so that's working. That is not, because of some reason, which, oh, no, sorry, I'm testing the wrong thing. Okay. I have to check now. So there's no comments in there. There's no comments in here. Gen reflect. That should all work. The JSON shouldn't be in the list. The README stuff is fine. It's not going to try evaluate that. So there, I don't know why this is still breaking. So let's kill one section at a time. Maybe it is trying to eval the README. Maybe I did something wrong. I digest. Yeah, instead of I digress, I was just making a dumb word joke. But I digress. I don't know where it's from, but I'm pretty sure it's a reference. That's like a movie or something, like Little Rascals or something like that, where they're like trying to sound smart. But I digest. Dumb joke. That's the that's all it is. Why does that not work now? Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff back in. I'm trying to kind of just narrow down little examples of things that break it, because then I have to figure out how to handle cases like that, aside from just don't have it in there, which is not really a solution. Okay, so it's something inside this script here. I wonder if it's the top line here. It is not. Okay. Well, I can do, no, never mind. Oh, it might actually just be this comment. That might be the only thing. Nope, not the only thing. Nope. I'm wondering a lot of things, honestly. Am I just missing things? It's not a smart brain day today, I'll be honest. So comments are for sure one of the problems, and this is why. So if I do read string, so I'm relying on read string to turn the strings from the parse of the object of the org file sometimes, not everything. I'm trying to turn just some bits into closure data structures so that I can use the so that I don't have to just do string manipulation on it. I could just check. Basically what I want is if the source contains maps, I want to pull the maps, read the string to get the maps, and then just check the keys. If the keys themselves have dependencies, then it's a dependency map. Right now, I'm literally just checking if the string contains the deps key, which is not good because you could have that inside a function somewhere else that is not a dependency map, right? You could be pulling a dependency key from a map inside a function, and that's just going to be an invalid match. So that's why I'm trying to get this working. But here, so read string, if I read string comment, it complains that it's end of file. And that's obviously not helpful, right? So if I cheese it like that, I can get empty things in there. But so I know for sure comments are one of the problems. I just suspect that there are other issues. Right, so I'm just trying to learn a little bit about that trial and error wise because I'm tired and bored today. That's the truth. Once I get some of that out of the way though, I will get to making, okay, so now I know a few things. Let me leave some notes for myself here. Oops. Okay, so read string breaks when trying to read lines with comments, as it ignores them and basically thinks it's reading an empty string. End of file error. What else? Read string also chokes on a shebang line like this. User bin bb, for example. Need to fix these problems. That's a useless. Why am I adding that? Of course I need to fix it. That's a stupid thing to add. Come on, man. Come on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, the reason I was going down this path was I actually had a get deps test. So what I want to do instead here is so I'm gonna do is equal radish basic has no deps. So if I actually do get deps of slurp radishbasic.org. Oh, I still, well, that's no good. Still broke some things. Okay, still have to fix things. That, oh, of course, that's because I haven't finished fixing the function. Having one of those days, you know? You know? Okay, so here we are. I have to reconstruct this because the file or the data structure coming in is now a little bit different than when I first built the function. That it's not a major problem, I just have to make it work. So get nodes match deps should now be, right, so if I run get dep star, the little helper test here, that is it's a vector of n, so this should work, and then content should work, right? Let's see. Let's go from this point on. Okay, so we've got content. So now here, this should work too. Yeah, so that's a string. It is the map in this case. It's not the right one because I haven't matched depths properly yet. Oh, I'm bouncing between two different functions at the moment, and that's not exactly helping me out here in the brain region of things. So that is successfully reading that. So at this point, if I were to have a properly working getDeps function, it is assumed to be correct already that there is a deps key in here, because I will have already matched with matchDeps. So I have to now, the reason it's not working here is because there's nothing to dissociate, I guess. So it's working, it's an empty map now. And the reason for that is, oh yes, this looks weird, but it's dissociating every key except for the dissoci key, or the deps key. But there is no deps key, so it's an empty map. And the reason there's no deps key is because I matched on the wrong thing. That's why this is breaking. But we know that if I do a proper match deps, then I can sort that out. So node matchers, let's sort this one out now. Right, so the proper match deps will, assuming it can read the string, which granted is still a problem, but I'm gonna move past that for the time being. So it's matched correctly, it's a closure data, it's a closure source, it's a source block. Then what you do is read string on that, and you get a maybe deps. And now all you need to do is, instead of empty, which would be any map, now all you need to do is, right, so on maybe deps you just do contains. Oh, also I am going to just enforce that it's the first from whatever. No, that's not good. Let's think about this. Oh. Filter contains. So this, not empty, should work. Okay, we've got something. That's a step in the right direction, I'd say. Radish basic. Now that's failing because, well, why? Get nodes from org zip org parse radish basic.org. So there's a zipper, and the matcher is going to be match deps empty. Right. Oh, that makes sense, right? I think that makes sense. If I match namespace, it's also empty. So that's looking correct. The matcher looks fine now, I think. Now I just have to make sure the getter works the way I want it to without totally barfing on everything, because that's just not helpful. Okay, so let's go back like this. Get depth star and go from there. Okay. Get depth star. Empty. If I do first, oh, at this point, right? Here is now, I think I can change this up a little bit if I do let let it be a map, I guess is what it is, right? And now here I just do when m, and now I can wrap the rest of this in what I want to get. So I can continue this thread here. I can pull the content, do all this good stuff. So it shouldn't fail anymore. Oh, this scene, what happened here? Apply, oh, I did something wrong here. Ead string, read string. Also, I can thread last to clean this up just a smidge. Okay, so read string, and now here apply wait a second, is that gonna be right? I might have messed the last thing up here, but we'll fix that in a minute. Okay, now let's try get depth star on this. Nil, that makes sense because m is nil after. So if you have an empty map, or pardon me, an empty vector, and you do first off it, it returns nil. So when m, but there's no m, so it's nil, just returns nil. Instead here, if I do radish logo, it pulls the depths, which is exciting. Right? Does that make sense now? The only thing I do still want to run this dissoc logic on it. So I think, let me just check that seems to work. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think that should be okay for the time being. This one will still break, I know, because of the read string issues I'm running into, but I'm gonna call it good for the time being. So now get depths is sort of fixed up anyway, and I should be able to try it now. So if I do get depths for slurp radish logo.org, that should, yep, and then radish basic should be nil. Ah, still doing something wrong. Okay. Oh, did I not There we go. I just didn't evaluate it. Okay. Good. All right, so let's fix this test. Get depths test, radish basic. So is equal, sorry, let's do logo. This should return, instead of this, it should return this. Gonna get this here. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Classic mistake, always pressing the wrong buttons like a goose. All right, so is equal that, and now the other Oh, that's one is. Now this is nil. This has to be true. Slurp radish basic.org. Oh, and of course I have to wrap that in rad slash get deps. Okay, let's run this and see if it's working. If it does, we've got a decent set of tests for now. And we can start working on a blog post idea or something like that. Take it easy, you know? Hopefully. Yes. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Jeez. Right. Not perfect, but slight improvements. Git status. Let's make sure I don't have any extra. Oh, I'm going to get rid of that test.org file because I don't really care about that at the moment. It helped me find what I needed. It'll be a good idea, I think, to make a specific test org file with all kinds of corner case stuff kind of built into it, just to really stress test the various automatic things in the Radish project. But that'll be another day. Nope. Git status is what I meant. Okay. Modified the tests. Modified the source to fix get deps. And the org file, of course. And modified Radish logo. Why did I do that? Uh-oh. Well, before I push those changes, let me do... I want to do this. Java jar radish.org or .jar input radish logo.org. Let it build and then just see if the output's good. Da, 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 da. Woo. I think so the single biggest thing that bugs me about this library is in the advanced build here. I have a little comment right here. Don't know how to do this within the same process yet. This is, I think, something I might go to the Clojure Slack and just ask for help with this one, because I don't know. I feel like what I'm doing is simultaneously clever and really stupid. And I don't know exactly how to architect things in a better way. I mean, in general, I'm really happy with the node editing and the pulling data from the org file to build out a project. But this isn't perfect. Is it a second command that needs to be run after the first one? Yeah, so basically this looks ugly, but there's this project here, this prepare radish project. I'm happy enough with how it works. It copies resources into the project, the automatically generated project folder. Then so everything is in place for you to run a shadow-cljs compilation process on that in that directory, I should say. It has all of the config, all of the source files that you need in there. This then, what I want is to go, okay, now load shadow-cljs devtools /compile, and then I want to pass in that project directory as an argument or whatever, and then it compiles it, and then I can extract the JS and just do everything the way I want. I don't know how to do that within the same JVM process, because shadow-cljs, every time I run it, it's looking in the main project root directory, not in the temporarily automatically generated project root directory, if that makes sense. So I don't know how to handle that yet. That's the simplest thing. But if I run it as its own process inside that directory, so right here I'm shelling out to the directory of the project, and then I'm literally invoking Clojure with shadow-cljs dev tools to release the main build. And then it works. It works perfectly. But I don't want to have to shell out. I feel like that's not great. Hey, oh, I might get your name wrong. Mayor. Thank you for the follow there. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Does that make any sense, Mike? I hope it makes a little bit of sense. And so this advanced build just is the, you pass in the org string, it does all the prereq stuff, then it runs it here, and then it copies the compiled stuff back into where you need it to be. Could you just build the temporary directory, run something like cd to the temp directory, and call the shadow-cljs command? So that's, I was hoping for something like that, and I don't know how to do it. So the way you're thinking about it is exactly the way I'm thinking about it as well. I feel like there is a solution, but I am just not aware of it yet. So I'm basically at the limit of my shadow-cljs knowledge. So I might just go ask for help, because this feels like anytime I try to Google this stuff, what I'm doing I think is slightly atypical. I'm generating a project and then trying to compile it right away. I think the closest thing to it is running, you set up a shadow-cljs build server remotely, and then you do a remote compilation. But that's not what I want. I don't need remote. I just need, I mean, it's arguably remote from its own project, but anyway. It isn't a huge problem because it does like still sort of work. Like the Uber jar at least seems to be working the way I want it to. So I'm just checking this. Still working okay. Everything looks correct. This is ugly, but that's related to my artistic skills, not the compilation. And in my defense, it looks a lot better down here anyway. I still think I could make this logo better, but that's neither here nor there. Interesting. I'll mull it over. If I think of something, I'll write it down. Have to go get a run in before dinner. Have to check out a bit early. Have a good weekend and stay safe. Hey, thanks, Mike. You stay safe as well. Have a good run, have a good dinner, and have a great weekend, okay? Oh, Monday is a holiday, so I won't be streaming Monday. And Tuesday, I'm flying back to Ontario, so I probably won't be streaming then either. And my schedule might be a little bit disrupted, just as a heads up, for the next August. I've got some a wedding in the family, and got a lot of visiting to do, that sort of thing. So might be a little touch and go there, but I'm going to try. I'm going to bring my iPad and a bit of a travel stream setup. So I think I'll get some streams in there anyway, but I'll front load my work to the beginning of the week. So if you stream later, I can tune in longer. Hey man, you do what you want to do, man. No pressure on my end, but if you're around while I'm streaming, I always appreciate it when you're there. So have a good one though, okay? Get that run in. Get the heart rate going. Okay, so yeah, cheers to you too, Mike. Cheers to you too, my friend. All right, git status. Git add. Git commit slight improvements to detecting depth maps. Note, we'll still have to fix read string EOF failures on comments. Git push. For the time being, that's gonna be all right. I think that's all right. All right. All right. Okay, so read string. There's gotta be. I wonder if what I should do is a combination of string manipulation and read string, where I have a regex for any comments. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to think about it right now. What I'm going to do instead is close all this extra garbo and start working on a little project that could be a kind of a cool post. And the first thing I want to do, I think, is, well, what would it be? I have an idea. Okay, so I want to make a post related to parametric curves, I think. So Bézier's and how I use parametric curves for 2D and 3D stuff, and how higher order functions in Clojure make parametric curves super easy and fun to work with. I think that's a cool post idea. So what I'm going to do right here is copy this. If I head over to design, shoot, I need a new posts maybe. Yeah, posts, parametric curves. Let's do that. Paste Areno. Don't call it radish logo. We can do parametric curves as a start. Title, parametric curves with Clojure higher with higher order functions. Okay, here a post about parametric curves and higher order functions. We can go from there. So radish config, that's all good. Right, so I guess that's fine. I do want all of this stuff in here for the Emacs side of things. So let's actually, I do still need then one. Right, I need a util, oops. I want to do it like this. Okay, so let me just check here. Radish config has an exclude function here. The depths, that looks fine for now, I think. Check on that. Here, that's all good. Results silent. That's fine. Utils, this should be called Emacs utils. This is a util function for rendering into Emacs. It runs pick up on SVG data and saves it to a file, which can then be viewed inline directly. At export time, this function is excluded via an injected comment. This is because you can't / don't need to render to a file if you have renderable content directly inside the browser. Yeah, good enough for now. Okay, so we'll do that. SVG does everything I need it to. Let me oh, yeah, I do need to create that. I tangled things into the wrong folder though. Oops. Radish logo / draw is also not what I need. These are old results. They shouldn't be in here. Right. Yeah, okay. Tangle / depths.eden. That's fine. Okay. Oh, that's right. I do still, so for this situation, I do still need to spawn a REPL for it. I'm actually gonna mx sesman quit this REPL, get it out of the way, kill that. That one I can keep open. Okay. Okay, now we're cooking. Let's cider jack in here. And we should have an environment that we can work in now. Should be okay. So now, let me just check that that actually is true. Executing the namespace block here, it'll be slow the first time because it's actually loading all of those into the context. But it should work just fine. Here, if I do this, yeah, there's no error. The result indicates that it successfully evaled that. Now here, this should work as well, but I don't think I need these functions, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Yeah, so that's the Emacs utility that I need. And now here I'm gonna do main start messing around with stuff here. So my real idea, or one of my real ideas, is to use, oh man, it's hot in here. I think I'm gonna give myself about half an hour to mess around with these ideas and then call it for the day. But the idea I have is to, on the browser side of things, expose a function. Ooh, how do I want to handle this? I want to have a timer function, so you can kind of run, you can have moving things with animations, basically. So I want to expose a variable that's just an incremental counter that I guess it increments at milliseconds or something like that. And then you can clamp it and do all kinds of stuff if you want with it. That kind of works, I think. I think that's okay. I have to think about exactly how useful that might be, but nevertheless, I think it could be valuable. So the problem is that actually ends up being something I do more browser side than in Emacs, because there's no... Can you animate into Emacs? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to search for this. Animations. No, I don't want that. None of this is really going to help me out, I think, but nevertheless, that's okay. Okay. Got to focus a little bit here. Animating things in Emacs. Yeah, no, that's okay. Enough of that. That's not important for right now. Let's focus in a little bit on how am I gonna... Might have to come up with a new feature called substitutions or something like that. Right, so what I'm trying to think about is basically just... I think I want to do like $T. And it's just going to be some number. Like that. So in the context of the web, you could do something like mod whatever. So you get it to go 0 to 1, whoop, 0 to 1, whoop, 0 to 1. Wonder if that's a good idea or not. Right, so if it's a millisecond incrementer, okay, there's got to be a better way to start actually trying this out in the browser right away, right? What I'll do first is probably... Just thinking about how I want to handle this. No export. Okay, main. Oops. I'm gonna first do this with a basic build. So what I can do now is actually, I'm gonna just go into the posts directory, parametric curves. I'm gonna copy from dev radish.jar. It's a big file, that's fine. So I'm gonna try, oh, I have to do it like this, Java jar radish.jar I parametric curves. This isn't gonna be anything special. I just want to see that it's trying to run. Ooh, compiling, null pointer. Fantastic. Running the advanced build, it's not, I don't want it to. Right, I want to do this. Okay, so I have to fix things. Darn. Okay. I guess unknown source. Well, shoot. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this. I didn't run. Okay, if I run the radish thing here, it should work. I guess Nectar temp. Okay. Copy radish.jar into temp. Copy radish basic.org into temp, cd temp, java jar radish.jar. Nope. Okay, so this is gonna fail, I think. Wait, why did it work there? Okay. Okay. Copy. Okay, I also want to copy radishbasic.org. And now here, java jar radish jar I radish basic. If this succeeds, then it's a problem with my org file. Ah, okay. So it's a problem with the org file. That's good, kind of. Right. The name of the game. Let me do this instead. So parametric curves. Okay. What I actually want to do is try to make a global state thing. That's a timer or something. And I think reagent has a timer example that I could just kind of copy. Yeah, so a timer component. That's what I'm looking for, basically. And all I ever want is the value of it at whatever time. Let me see if I can get this to work directly. Like if I'm here, I do something weird, like go here. Instead of doing any of this, let's paste this. Could not resolve our atom. That would be because, wait, what namespace am I in? good. Let's add. See if that. Oh yeah, it does. Right, so a timer component then to okay, so it's not registering as renderable. That is okay. Yeah, so I have to treat this a little bit differently, but it's possible to get things working. I'm certain of that. So if I do, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. So I have to mount it into something, I guess, and it's not gonna handle that automatically, maybe. Let me try something slightly different then. Copy this. I'm gonna go here. Okay, so let's define a timer component inside the script of the source itself, and then render that into something somewhere. But I'm gonna go to the washroom for a minute. I will be right back. Ridiculous animation, just messing up all the time. I love it. There's surely a way to fix it. Alright, I'm running out of steam for the day. Let's get a timer rendered into the browser somehow, or into the DOM, I mean, and just kind of go from there. Let's render it into every single so I run source is what let's render it into every result component just for laughs. And right, so let's do it like this. Oop. Here we do timer component. And I need to open this up now. So okay, so there we go. We have a timer. It is actually working. It looks silly, but there also each one of these timers does have its own, it does actually have its own state. So the next thing that's I'm gonna be okay with that for now. What I want to do next, so that just proved to me that the timer component itself can work. I wonder if I could do something a little bit different, which is def timer is a global ratom0, like that. And then here, this is just going to be run timer. Takes no argument. Okay, this is the formatting of this is going to be all wonky because I'm not in a closure project, but that's okay. This is just to prove the idea. So let seconds elapsed be at timer. Yeah. I don't need the div at all. I'm not sure if this will work, but let's find out. Okay, so all we need to do is that, really. So let seconds elapsed be at timer. Swap seconds elapsed inc up to 1,000. Okay, so now if I run, I think this might not work. Run timer. So the timer is theoretically running and incrementing properly, theoretically. And here, instead of doing a timer component, I can just do div string atoms global timer at timer. So let's try that. So let's just refresh this page and see what happens. Okay, so my global timer, right, at timer, but the timer, there's nothing happening. So I think there's an error. Uncaught. Oh, right, so run timer doesn't work the way I thought. I think probably because this has to be attached to something. Like it's an event or something like that. I wonder if that's the case. Global timer JavaScript. Maybe closure script. Let's study this timer component for a minute here. Okay, let's... I mean, maybe I could just do something like this. So timer component does everything the same. The only difference is seconds elapsed is in a state outside of itself. So every time... I wonder if that'll do the trick. I think it won't. I think this is wrong. And I'm gonna leave soon because I'm getting just a bit tired and I want the weekend to be here. That's the truth. That's the whole truth. Okay, so the timer uncaught, no protocol swap. Okay. Is there just a pure closure way to make a timer and just get that in an atom? Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Core async. Oh, maybe this is where I need to be. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the simple truth. Yeah. Closure script. Simple timer. Let's see what happens. Ooh, this might be fun. Timer stuff. Where, how? Game, timer, swap state. Yeah. Dot timer stop. Okay. Google timer. Oh, I wonder if I can just use that. Let's see. Timer. This might be exactly what I need. Let's see. I wonder if this is actually really easy. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. No, let's use this as a reference. So we've got timer. Yeah, let's def timer. So def time is going to be an atom, but if we do def timer as this, I'm not sure that that's in there, but let's go with it. Maybe it is. Right, then I just want this events tick. And I want that to drive the atom increment. Like this. Events listen to the timer, which is this. Timer tick. And then instead of this, I just do swap time inc. Okay, now very likely I think I need to require those libraries for it to actually do anything, but let's see what happens anyway. Okay, unable to resolve class name. Yes, so oh, this is this is an org file. They made this with an org file. That's cool. I like that. Actually, let me go back here and see if they've done anything helpful here. Here, these are the things I'm looking for. Let's see if we can get this to work. It might not. Let's go like this. No dice. Couldn't find goog.dom. Okay, well, maybe I don't need that one. Might have to call it soon, honestly. Let's clean that up just a bit there. It appears I may have broken something. Or it's not loading at all. CDN's not loading. Okay, loaded. But we're not getting what we need. So I'm not seeing errors, which is interesting. Getting warnings. Loading failed for the script. Oh. That might be a problem. Okay, so the CDN was just not delivering right away, but that's fine. It works now. Could not find namespace goog.timer. Yeah. Okay. All right, so there's got to be a better or a pure. That, you know what? That was a fun attempt at an idea, and I know there's a way to solve this problem, but I'm just not going to do it now. I'm going to go for the weekend. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for the chats here and there. Thanks for everyone's bits of support and follows and all that stuff. It's all really nice to see. It's all a lot of fun. Keeps things interesting on my end. So I'm going to get going, but everyone have a good one. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be around. Might be a bit finicky streaming this coming month. I might be away, but that's okay. I'll be back for sure whenever I can in August. I'll stream at least a couple times, and then for sure September I'll be back at it normally. So yeah, that's all I got. Have a good one, everyone.